What up, people? What's good? Salute, salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. The Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful. Yo, man, salute everybody. That was my new intro made by my homeboy Ali ALC. Yo, check him out on Instagram. He's a phenomenal dude. Real talented cat. So yeah, man, that was the new little intro that he whipped up, man, and I think it's dope, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. But yeah, man, so my co-hosts are not here today. It's Labor Day rather, and we actually we weren't doing a show today. So this was like a impromptu thing, but I'm still gonna give y'all some great stuff today. I appreciate everybody for coming and chilling and hanging out. And yo, salute to those in the building. Defective Chimp, the House of Nerds show. Slick Rick in the building. Yo, Diamond Onyx, peace everybody, and salute to the tribe. But again, like I was saying, wasn't gonna do a show today, but as you may or may not have heard, the homie Michael K. Willaims passed away today at 54 years old. And you know him from things like Boardwalk Empire as Chalky White, Omar Little from The Wire, of course. You know what I'm saying? These my daddy tools. Remember that shit? Yeah. Yo, he killed that shit. One of my favorite characters in the show, man. One of my favorite shows of both The Wire and Boardwalk Empire. And of course, man, he's done tons of movies and all of that stuff. Like, he's a phenomenally talented dude. Was. And it's just tragic, man. And I thought I better come on and at least, you know what I'm saying, pay respects. Big rest in power. Salute to the homie, man. 5-time Emmy Award nominee. Okay, found dead in his apartment around 2 p.m. today, in his Brooklyn penthouse apartment. A source from the NYPD tells, his nephew discovered his body in the living room, just like dead on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Back in the, although the cause of death has not been determined, drug paraphernalia was found in the apartment, according to the New York Post. A separate law enforcement source told People magazine or internet, whatever, that Willaims died of a suspected overdose and that officials believe he may have ingested heroin laced with fentanyl. Sorry. Now, I don't know of him to do drugs. I don't know what he does. You know what I mean? Nobody knows what anyone does in their private time, and drug addiction is obviously a major problem, mental illness, all of that stuff that kind of ties into it, and there's been stories today of a couple of actors, comedians and whatnot that have died from fentanyl laced cocaine. Now, I don't know a whole lot about fentanyl or why it would be used to cut cocaine. I know it cuts heroin because it's a painkiller. It's it's an opiate. So it definitely, falls into that category of drugs. But cocaine, I don't know why that's being done. Cocaine's an upper, fentanyl is kind of a downer, I think. But anyways, this fentanyl thing has become a problem. It's getting, they're lacing all kinds of drugs with it. And I guess it's easy to make. It's cheap. It's the cartels, the Mexican cartels. They whip up the shit in their labs and, cut all kinds of shit with it. So be careful out there, man. If you fuck around, Don't fuck around. That shit is deadly, and you never know what what it's gonna be in. But this is tragic. This is a like I said, five-time Emmy nominated actor, bro. Okay, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, won critical acclaim for portraying the shotgun wielding Robert Omar Little from The Wire that we love from 2002 to 2008. He went on to appear in several other HBO series, including Boardwalk Empire, in which he portrayed racketeer Chalky White. BET Awards 2021. Arrivals, Michael K. Williams attends BET Awards 2021. You know what I mean? He had a lot going on. Uh he told NPR in 2016 that he often struggled with separating himself from the character of Omar Little while filming The Wire. And that little struggle, uh, a little too close to home, he said. He also told the outlet that he battled with addiction while filming the show, noting that he was in jeopardy of destroying everything he had worked so hard for. As he grew in his career, he said he became more comfortable separating himself from the characters that he played. He said, one of the main things that changed from when I was first on The Wire to now, in particularly the night of, is I know how to differentiate myself from the character. I still go in just as deep, but now I have the tools to pull myself out of that, he told them. Throughout his decades-long career, Williams was nominated, like I said, 5 Emmys, including three nominations for outstanding supporting actor in a limited series or movie for his work in Bessie, The Night of, and When They See Us. When They See Us, game changing. I mean, just amazing stuff. Based on a very tragic true story. Definitely recommend When They See Us. You can probably see that on Netflix, man. But it's deep, and he killed that role. Just like he's killed every role that I've ever seen him in. And yeah, I know. I feel you, Onyx. It's fucking tragic. Yeah, encore performances. Word. I mean, yo, he was, man. This is like crazy to me right now because it's like you know actor, artists, rappers, everyone like time after time. It's just been all like a lot of my favorite, people are dying lately, like this last year and the year before. Just odd, man. From I think it started with like it started with like MF Doom and yo, I'm sorry guys, hold on. Whatever he needs. I'm live on YouTube right now, bro. Okay, cool. Let me know. All right, brother. Yo, sorry about that, man. That was business. So my bad. So look, he's nominated for supporting actor in the drama series playing Montrose Freeman in HBO's Lovecraft Country. Another one that just you got to see it, man. Just amazing, amazing show in itself. Amazing role, killing it. Fans and colleagues mourn the actor's death on social media, saying things like shocked and saddened by the death of Michael K. Williams, one of the nicest brothers on the planet with the biggest heart, which was Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who was also on The Wire with him, played Clay Davis. Shit, that cat. An amazing actor and soul, he said. Actor Wendell Pierce, who also appeared on The Wire with Williams, described him as an immensely talented man with the ability to give voice to the human condition, portraying the lives of those whose humanity is seldom elevated until he sings their truth. And then Pierce also said he shared with me his secret fears and stepped out into his acting with true courage, acting in the face of fear, not in the absence of it. It took me years to learn what Michael had in abundance. And then someone said, it is with deep sorrow that the family announces the passing of Emmy nominated actor Michael Kenneth Williams. That was a rep, for the family and whatnot. And friends and families, shared tributes to Williams on social media after the news of his death, shocked and saddened, all of that stuff. Williams' breakout role came in 2002 when he portrayed Omar Little on The Wire. We all saw that. We all loved that. but over the years he appeared in such shows like Law and Order, The Sopranos, Alias, Boardwalk Empire, Community, and of course When They See Us. He's also had movie roles like Gone Baby Gone. Deep. That movie is deep. Gone Baby Gone is a cult classic. That's a deep movie. The Incredible Hulk, 12 Years a Slave, Inherent Vice, and Ghostbusters 2016 version. Um, LA Times said less than 2 weeks before he was to learn if he'd won an Emmy Award, The Wire and Lovecraft Country actor Mike K. Williams died. An HBO representative confirmed Monday. Williams was 54 years old, found dead of a suspected overdose in his Brooklyn apartment, according to New York Post and NBC law enforcement sources. Despite his critically lauded work as a drug money Robin Hood, named Omar Little on The Wire, and as Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire, he had not yet won an Emmy, despite 4 previous nominations. In a late August interview, with the LA Times, rather, Williams was characteristically humble about his work, instead focusing on the other 17 Emmy nods that his current series, Lovecraft Country, had received. So basically trying to give the props, to his fellow actors and whatnot. Yeah, House of Nerd show. It is, man. Gone Baby Gone is mad good. It's mad good. Um, you know, and like he said, I was very, very happy to see the writers get their just due. The show was in the works for 3 years, being written and rewritten and rewritten. He said, of course, Jonathan Majors and Journey Smollett nominated for lead actor and actress respectively, but I was very happy Ingenue got her flowers. He said, Lovecraft Country was canceled after a single season, but he definitely could have kept working on that show for many years to come. He said he said something that was poignant or whatever, really, really deep. He said, the horror genre is an American classical storytelling. We've been telling horror stories since the beginning of Hollywood, and the only time you see people of color, we're just the easy prey. It's never about our relationship to what is horrifying. The black person always dies within the first 10 minutes. He said, agreeing with co-star Smollett's comment that as a black artist, you can be a fan of horror, but horror hasn't always been a fan of us. He also, and this was, I didn't really know this, but you know, it's kind of, part of kind of what we do. We talk about Star Wars, comic books, all of that good stuff. Well, I didn't know that Solo, that Star Wars, like probably the worst movie that they did, if you don't count Last Jedi, which was a travesty. But I digress. Uh, when Ron Howard got hired to finish the film of Star Wars, there was some reshoot issues that needed to be done in regards to his character, which he was going to play. He was going to be in the movie Solo, which I didn't even know. But in order for it to match the new direction which the producers wanted Ron to carry the film in, it didn't work out, and that would have required him to be on a plane, to go to London at a time during, to do reshoots when he was on location in Africa. I think it was called Happen Leonard was the movie, but he was not able to make it, and they couldn't, wait for him, that long. That would have pushed back the release date and all of that, but they wanted him to do it, but he couldn't, so that would have been dope. But he was slated to appear as a half human, half, animal type alien in the film. And he actually helped develop that role, to make it unlike anything that he'd done or seen before. And while it's a shame we don't get to see what Williams and the Han Solo team created, all the work Williams did put in, may mean we'll see him. Well, we would have seen him rather in another Star Wars film. I think that even though he wasn't able to do that film, that's kind of how that crew, that family, that kind of Star Wars, close knit, crew, they would have okay, you didn't make it in this movie, but he would have been in the next one. So i- it's just it's tragic, man. It's tragic upon tragic. He actually said, I don't think anything in that galaxy is final, and I don't think that me not being in the Star Wars family is final. I think something will transpire somewhere down the line. I left with a very good taste in my mouth about the whole family, and I hope that I left a good taste in their mouth. They're a great group of people, the Lucas family. And in college. Oh, yeah, his early years, he like I said, man, he was actor way before we heard of him, the stuff that he was doing and all of that. Like, we don't we never get to hear everything about them, but he was what he was born in 1966. So November 22nd, 1966. And he was born in Brooklyn, son of a Bohemian mother and Nassau and Booker T. Williams, an American from Greeleyville, South Carolina, where his African American family has deep roots. Williams was raised in the Vanderveer Projects in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. He attended the George Westinghouse Career and Technical Education High School. According to a DNA analysis, he is descended partly from the Mende people of Sierra Leone. After getting in some trouble as a youth, he enrolled at the National Black Theater in New York City. He worked for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals as a temp. Um, However, inspired by Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814, he left school and quit his job against the wishes of his family to pursue a career as a dancer. During a year in which he was intermittently homeless, Williams visited record labels and dance studios looking for work. He got a job as a background singer with Kim Sims, which led to more work appearing as a dancer in music videos and on tours with artists such as George Michael and Madonna, as well as some modeling work. He also choreographed Crystal Waters' 1994 single 100% Pure Love. He was given one of his first acting roles after being discovered by Tupac Shakur and was cast as High Top, the brother and henchman of Shakur's drug kingpin Tank in the 1996 film Bullet. All right. If you did not see Bullet or didn't know about Bullet, I gotta recommend it. Like, Bullet was a fire movie, bro. That shit was dope. Pac was in it. Adrian Brody was in it. Killed it. But Mickey Rourke was kind of is the star of it, and it's definitely my favorite Rourke movie. Bullet was dope, man. Bullet was mad underrated, bro. Bullet was mad underrated. Tupac was Tank. He was like a drug lord, but bro, he killed that role. It was that movie. I don't know why it didn't blow up, like it should have. Maybe not, bad publicity, whatever. But you know, he uh he had a large facial scar which he received in a bar fight on Jamaica Avenue in New York on his 25th birthday, in which he was slashed with a razor blade, and the scar became his sort of signature feature and resulted in offers to perform as a thug in music videos and modeling opportunities with noted photographers like David LaChapelle. He also served as the American Civil Liberties Union celebrity ambassador to the Campaign for Smart Justice. So he's done, he's done a lot. He's been involved in a lot. Like I said, he had a recurring role on J.J. Abrams' Alias. He was in 6 Degrees, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, Boston Legal, The Sopranos, Law and Order's SVU, Human Giant, Third Watch. He was in a music video for Young Jeezy's "Bury Me a G." He appears in Kill Point as a recurring guest star Q, police sniper alongside The Wire co-stars J.D. Williams, Michael Hyatt. Um, he played a Boston area detective named Devin Amerkin in the 2007 film Gone Baby Gone. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's a phenomenal movie. It's based on a book by Dennis Lehane. All right. Dude, I have a stack of books. I mean, y'all see my bookshelf. It's crazy. But I got a whole stack of books by Dennis Lehane. Gone Baby Gone is one of the dopest ones. It was actually adapted and directed by Ben Affleck. Um, can't recommend it. It's man, it touches you. I ain't gonna lie. That movie gonna make you feel something. Whether it's horror or disgust or whatever, bro. That movie's gonna inflict some emotion. He was also in The Road, which was another one of my kind of favorite like post-apocalyptic movies based also on a book by Cormac McCarthy. The Road was one of those another underrated movies because it didn't have a lot of action and stuff, but it was fucking good, and he killed that role too. You know, um, in November 2011, it was announced that he would appear in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. Williams had previously confirmed that he was actually in talks with Tarantino to take on the titular role of Django. Was to portray a minor character in the film, but scheduling conflicts with Boardwalk Empire prevented him from doing so. So that's another. I don't think. Now I can't say that. Like Jamie Foxx killed that role, but Michael K. Williams would have been a dope Django, man. That would have been hard. That would have been mad hard for real. Yeah, yeah, bro. Yeah, I never knew that. Yeah, the road was deep, man. Like one of those really like nutty, like deep post-apocalyptic joints, kind of like, in that same vein of like Gone Baby Gone, where it's gonna make you feel some weird shit. Like it was deep. And he has some going on with Wu-Tang too. What was it? Oh, he revealed that he was also starring in a lead role as rapper Old Dirty Bastard from the Wu-Tang Clan in the movie Dirty White Boy in 2014, which is based on the relationship ODB had with his manager during the last 2 years of his life. Williams mentioned the role was special to him because he grew up listening to Old Dirty Bastard and Wu-Tang he was also a Brooklyn native. Now, I did not see Dirty White Boy, uh, and I did not even know that there was an ODB biopic and that he played ODB. Like, this is news to me, so I'm learning something today too, guys. I'm definitely gonna be seeking that one out. Y'all know Wu-Tang is my joint. Um, but yeah, man, it's the dude was prolific, man. He started MGMT's music video for Cool Song Number 2. We featured modeling for the Gap's 2014 fall collection. He was, and then of course he was in Hap and Leonard, which is what he was filming when Solo came around, which is why he couldn't be in the Han Solo movie. He began working with Vice News, hosting a Viceland program titled Black Market, which I saw as well. That's a pretty good. That was dope. Like that's a very informative show. If y'all ever saw Vice, man, they got a dope program called Black Market. Definitely want to check that out. He visits various clandestine markets, to explore how they operate while investigating the circumstances that generate their clientele. In 2018, he worked with the Vice team in Raised in the System, an extended premiere episode of the sixth season of HBO's Emmy winning weekly news magazine series. Williams embarked on a personal journey to expose the root of the American mass incarceration crisis, the juvenile justice system, which we know is a problem. And of course, he was originally cast as Dryden Voss. Oh, he was originally cast as Dryden Voss, a crime lord in a solo Star Wars story. See, they didn't say that before. He was removed from the film after being unable to return to set. And they said he was a half human, half animal. Paul Bettany was cast in his place. See how they do? Paul Bettany was cast in his place with the character being reworked from motion capture alien to human. So he was going to be an alien creature that was supposed to be Dryden Voss. If y'all watch Star Wars, a Star Wars story, it was Paul Bettany, the guy that plays Vision, who played the role that he was gonna have. Dryden Voss was the head of the Crimson Dawn. All right, Crimson Dawn is the crime organization that Darth Maul started when he kind of got, well, he got chopped in half and knocked down a hole, but he was, no longer a part of the Sith, rule of two. So he created that Crimson Dawn, that Crimson Dawn crime family, you know. And man, that just would have been dope, man. That would have been phenomenal, bro, to see him in that movie. This is crazy, bro. It's just, what are you gonna do? You gotta people gotta stop fucking with drugs, man. Definitely, shit that could be laced with fentanyl, man. Come on, y'all. This shit ain't worth it, man. Dude was mad talented. It's hard to say what you'll do though. You know what I'm saying? If you got all that money, you got all that fame, you never know what you're gonna end up doing, how your life's gonna turn out. We all imagine and think that we know what we would do with that kind of money and that kind of fame, but until you live it, bro, you have no idea. You never know. Because some of these people that die, I mean, look, from Heath Ledger, like Seymour Hoffman, I don't know, it's too many to name, bro. I don't even It's just crazy, man, because you feel like, man, they had it all. They had everything. They just threw it away. But you never know, man. You never know what it's really about. What it stems from. Is it mental illness? Is mental illness a factor? Drug addiction could be considered a mental illness in a way. It definitely takes you out of your right mind. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's mostly it's pretty much all I have to say about my man Chalky White, Omar Little. These my daddy tools. Yo, he when he broke them tools out, oh my god, it was dope, yo. Yeah, man. So salute, man, to Michael K. Williams. Rest in power, brother. And we will definitely remember you always, and we will be celebrating your life through your films and your shows. What if? What if episode 4, y'all? What if episode 4? So Doctor Strange loses his wife instead of his hands. That's the what if. It's what if he lost his wife instead of his hands. Basically, what if he lost his humanity, his heart, his kindness, his goodness, whatever that made him, you know, the hero. And it turned, he's like he ends up being like a demon, without spoiling too much. I usually do spoilers on this show. So spoiler alert, we're gonna talk a little bit about what if episode 4, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. So his wife, he gets in a car accident, his wife is killed. And he decides, he's got the power, he's got the eye of Agamotto, and he knows how to, go back in time. So he does his thing, against the wishes of, the ancient one and his, his advisors, his friends, the people that rock with him, they're like, bro, you can't mess with time, you'll fuck up the fabric of, the universe. And this all leads up and is has to do with the multiverse of madness and the movies that are coming out. So all the Marvel shows, be it Scarlet Witch, be it Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, What If, they're all lead ups, foreshadowings to the movies, to the MCU stuff that, is gonna come out in the movies. So it's like they kind of like in the last episode, they killed off all the Avengers, but Nick Fury made a statement. He said the Avengers are not people, it's an idea, which kind of sets us up because we know that, most of the Avengers are either dead or out of commission or, you know, old or whatever. So we got to keep the Avengers going, but how do we explain to people that these are the new Avengers, because they're going to be the new Avengers, the young Avengers. You got Kate Bishop and all of them, Patriot, all the guys that have been, sort of introduced in the shows. So all these characters in these shows that are coming out, they're letting us know like these are the people that are going to be in those movies to come. And by setting that up, they make it acceptable that these new Avengers are the Avengers, even though they're not the same people, because the Avengers are an idea. So fast forward episode 4, you got Doctor Strange doing crazy, stuff, time traveling, which is messing up the multiverse, and it's all going to lead into multiverse of madness. You've got the Spider-Man movie coming out, where Doctor Strange and Peter Parker are doing some time travel. Like, Peter Parker wants everyone to forget that they knew who he was, because his identity got revealed, and it kind of changed everything for the worse in his life. He didn't, things weren't going well now that everybody knew, who he was. So he, wants Doctor Strange to help him go back in time, whatever it is, however they're going to do it, but make everybody forget that he's Spider-Man. While Strange is doing that experiment, or that spell, Spider-Man's coming in and he's talking and he's like interrupting him, and Doctor Strange is like, "Yo, you can't do that, man. You mess shit up." And so that's kind of, I think, what's going to start or cause the multiverse of madness, cause the multiverse to be in jeopardy, to be messed up, to whatever those movies are going to. And then of course you had Loki, right? You had Kang, who's the you know big time traveling bad guy. He goes back in time, or from the future. He comes back, and he's got all these other Kangs from all the other multiverses that he's been keeping in check. And Lady Loki sort of ruins all that by killing him. And so now we've got all the Kangs and all the multiverses that they were controlling now free to run wild. So all of this stuff from these shows is going to intersect in the movies. The only thing that I'm noticing about these shows, they're very different from the way the what if comic books are made, are done. Okay. What, for example, say there's a what if comic book. What if Wolverine killed the Hulk? All right. So for an example, what if Wolverine killed the Hulk? Well, Wolverine kills the Hulk on like the first page or two. So that's done. Now the whole book, the whole story is about the results of that thing happening. What they're doing with the show is, for instance, if it were that, what if Wolverine killed the Hulk? The whole show would be about Wolverine killing the Hulk. And then at the very end of the show, it would be like, oh, and here's kind of the results from that. So like the last show was like, what if the Avengers, were killed? Well, if that were a comic, and they have done similar comics, if that were in the comics, the Avengers would have been killed in the beginning, and then the whole story would have been about how Loki took over because there was no Avengers there to, to deal with him. And this is, then the whole story would have been about him ruling, and say Captain America, someone coming, stopping him, saving the day. Whereas in the show, what they did was, the whole show was about the Avengers getting knocked off one by one. And then at the very end of the show, they show Loki ruling, taking over as the ruler. But then we don't see we don't see any of that happening. We don't see what transpires after that. So it's kind of like they flip the formula. Instead of, here's the event in the beginning, and now here's the whole story about what happens. What they're doing is, the event is the whole story, and then at the end, here's the result of what happens. You follow me? So it's not it's it's the opposite. So I don't know if that's helping or hurting, or if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It is what it is. All I know is the what if shows are phenomenal. All right. The animation is crazy. The acting is bananas. It's all the same, all the great actors that we know from the MCU doing their roles, you know. It's so they're all great. And in this one, in episode 4, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone. It reminds me of Twilight Zone, or Outer Limits, or some one of those like Doom, like like you made all these choices, you made all these fucked up wrong choices, and now your life is fucked. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. Like on some just some bad outlook type, you know. So it kind of gave me that vibe. It was him, going back in time, s- continuously trying to prevent his wife from dying. But of course, every time he goes back, she still dies. Whether he takes a different route and they get in a different accident, or they don't go at all and she has like a heart attack, or they go out to a little diner instead of the dance and she gets shot by a burglar or a robber. So basically, it's that classic sort of, no matter what you do, you go back in time, you try to fix it. It's not going to happen. The same things are going to go wrong, because it was inevitable. It was fate. So, by the end of it, it's like he did all this. He finally gets her to live, but then she sees him as the demon, because he makes this deal with Dormammu, and he just does all this dark shit to try and fix it. And she of course dies anyway, and then it's tragic. Like they end up in hell. It's just it's all very much very Twilight Zoney, very yeah. So that was I thought it was good though. Overall, again, I like the What If series. I like what they do with the stories. I like the animation. I like the acting. It's just nothing you could really say bad about it. All I can say is that it's different. It's different than the comic books. I was sort of hoping it was gonna be like we were finally gonna get a Marvel project that was based on the comics, lit like directly, like really following the content, versus the movies, like the MCU, the shows, everything. It's all very different than the comics, and there's lots of differences, and they change a lot of stuff. And you know, I thought that because this is going to be an animated show and it's What If, so they can deviate from that. I really thought we were going to get straight from the comic book stories, which would have been bananas. I got a stack of What If comics that because you guys know I sell comics on Instagram. So definitely check me out on Instagram. I do live shows and I sell books there. But so I've got all these What If comics and stuff. So it would have been great. But obviously they went the route of all these What If stories are based on the MCU. So they'll take characters and stories from the MCU and what if eyes them, the what if them, what if this happened, but it's all based on stuff from the MCU versus it being based on stories from the comics. Whereas the comics are based obviously on other comics. So that's one difference. Excuse me, had to get a drink. Anybody come to the show to watch you drink? But so that is sort of my take on episode 4. Now, I do want to talk about some comic books that are coming out. We know well, first of all, this is kind of the show I can do that on. This Wednesday and Thursday, so I'll be doing an indie show which is all about indie comics called Sundercats, right? With my man Dodgy. Shout out to Almega and Dodgy Comic Crusaders. So we'll be doing a Comic Crusaders show, Indie Crusaders show called Sundercats, where we'll just talk indie comics. But while we're on hip hop and comics, I'm really impressed with this new book that's out. It's called Dark Ages. Um, in the first issue of Dark Ages introduces a dystopian future for the Marvel universe in which the mutant apocalypse reveals his true self, his true colors, if you will. If you've been reading any of the X-Men stuff since House of X, Powers of X, the island of Krakoa, all of that stuff that's going on. Apocalypse has been a part of that council. He's been a part of the mutants, nation. And typically he's been not really a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like even, him and like, characters like Magneto and like other characters that are typically or known of as being, you know, bad guys, he's definitely more I'm not going to call him a good guy, but you know what I mean? He's not really out to kill everybody like normally is, he just wants to wipe out the weak and weed out those, but in this is a new thing is Dark Ages, and issue 1 has come out, and so far it's phenomenal. It just arrived. The first issue is by Tom Taylor, Ivan Cello, Brian Reber, and VC's Joe Sabino. And it plunges heroes like Spider-Man and the Avengers into one of the bleakest timelines that I think the Marvel Universe, has ever seen. As the heroes narrowly avert one cataclysmic threat, another has emerged in the form of the classic X-Men villain Apocalypse, who has already started to take advantage of the chaos and is waiting in the wings to unleash, what is sure to be a new threat upon the remaining heroes of this dystopian world. With impending threat of the massive living machine, the Unmaker, threatening to literally destroy the world, the Avengers rush to form a strike team capable of dealing with the world-destroying threat. Apocalypse, on the other hand, sees the opportunity and moves to claim the massive power of the celestial being for himself, which that he definitely has technology that is from the celestials, integrated into his body and all of that. That's part of his powers, if you will. And you know, this essentially clinches the fact that despite his recent turn to a more altruistic nature toward mutants since House of X, the powerful mutant undoubtedly remains a villain in the world of Dark Ages. And ever since the first appearance of Apocalypse in 1986's X Factor number 5, which is where he first appeared again, guys. I'm sorry. This is hello. You good? Okay. All right. I will. Sorry, man. So yeah, so again, he comes into the Marvel world 1986, X Factor number 5. It's kind of like his cameo appearance, if you will. I'm trying to get X Factor number 6. I got me a 5. I want 6 is the first full appearance of Apocalypse. He's one of my favorite characters, definitely one of my favorite villains of all time. Top 5 mutant villains for sure. Um, he's been one of the most imposing figures in the Marvel universe. As one of the earliest mutants known in Earth, En Sabah Nur has been a force to contend with across the ages. In spite of his sordid past, recent years have seen Apocalypse make great strides in building a new legacy for himself. Like I said, during 2020's X of Swords event, Apocalypse played a critical role in ensuring the survival of Krakoa and Earth's mutants as a whole. Not only was he on the front lines with his blade in hand, he made a move. He made the move to Arakko after reconciling with his wife as a show of good faith, between the two nations of Arakko and Krakoa. However, in Dark Ages, Apocalypse's lust for power appears to be one of his defining traits, heralding trouble for the heroes as the series progresses. By the end of the issue, Apocalypse is seen with a menacing group of superpowered beings, including a menacing beast and a grizzled Reed Richards, who don't appear to have the world's best interest in mind. So that's definitely one of my favorite new comics that are out. There's no way that the end game of Apocalypse and his ally. Sorry, there's no way to know what the end game of Apocalypse and his allies could be. But it doesn't look particularly promising for the rest of the world, with the incredible mind of Reed Richards backing him up alongside the brawn of a figure who appears to be the Hulk. There is little that the powerful mutant would be unable to accomplish. Stories such as Age of Apocalypse, which was another phenomenal story, have already shown that what a world ravaged by the first mutant looks like. But there remains the hope that there is more to this assortment of characters than meets the eye. There is a chance that this version of Apocalypse has a plan to ultimately save the world. So especially considering the fact that he has allied with a few people who have proven to be heroes in other worlds, such as the X-Men's Beast and the leader of the Fantastic Four. However, his obvious lust for power is still concerning, and of course his villainous past. So definitely, please look out for Dark Ages. It just came out and is going to be phenomenal. And guys, like I said, it is Labor Day. We did not plan to do a show today at all. My man Stu Dog, he's got Labor Day stuff going on. My co-host, my other co-hosts, and all that. So we didn't plan on doing a show today, but in light of the death of Michael K. Williams, who I'm a big fan of, and that's such a shocker. I just thought, it's only right that I definitely, go live anyway today and just talk about him. You know, celebrate, rest in power. MKW, man. Like, so I just wanted to touch on that for you guys and let y'all know what was going on, give you the scoop, give you the truth, give you the facts as they're known, as they, unfold right now. So, that is that. And of course, I figured what if 4 just happened? So let's talk about that a little bit. I was going to talk a little bit about Shang-Chi, but I don't want to do that conversation by myself yet because I want to have a bit of a different opinions and stuff because I don't want to just give you my opinion and call it, that's how we like to do this show. It's like a banter. It's like a, a conversation, a debate, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Healthy debate. So we'll definitely touch on that. Maybe Wednesday. I think we can do that just because of the fact that today was Labor Day. Again, Wednesday is normally the indie show. But now that I'm doing an indie show on Thursday, which I want you guys to definitely tune in, and I'll give you the information. That's going to be Thursday on a Comic Crusaders show. I'll definitely give you guys the info for that on Wednesday. So I may not do that show as an indie show anymore. I might do something else. And of course, we got DC Day coming on Saturday, which we're going to talk all DC stuff with my man Spadeonomics Comics and of course Stu Dog as usual. Both big DC guys, which I am not. I just know mostly Marvel and Image and a lot of the indie stuff. Only DC that I really rock with is Batman. Like a lot of people. Like my 2 favorite characters are probably Batman and Wolverine. So it is what it is. But again, man, thank you guys for coming and kicking it with me. I hate that it was such tragic news that brought us together today, but I had to talk about that. So again, salute to the family, salute to the tribe, comic dudes, Madmen of Comics, everybody on Instagram. Find me on Instagram doing my live claim sales as well. You guys can always find me on there. I'll be on there most nights selling comics. But yeah, man, that's it, guys. Thanks for coming out. Peace.